This is Season Long Baller. Happy to have you with us for the second of the three play-in games. And if you were with us yesterday, you know that the Miami Heat put something awful on the Indiana Pacers, the 7-versus-8 game, where the Heat won 53-21. So hopefully we'll get a better game than that this time. So this time we've got the number 9 seeded Brooklyn Nets against the 10 seed Toronto Raptors. And in this case, the loser is done. Loser goes home. The winner will take on those aforementioned Pacers who were destroyed yesterday. Happy to have you with us. This is a little bit different than what we normally do on the channel Season Long Baller, as nobody has scored yet. And normally we are following the exploits of the Washington Wizards and our NBA 2K23 player build, Jaymont Summerz. They finished as the 1 seed. We finished 66-16 in the Eastern Conference, so we are waiting to see who is going to be the East representative, as Toronto is up 3-0 here. We normally play 6-minute quarters on Season Long Baller, so that's why you see our simulation here with 6 minutes. And this is the Simcast live feature on NBA 2K23, and we're just going through these play-in games, and we will do 2 days from now, we will do the Pacers and the winner of this game to see who will be playing the Wizards when the playoffs actually kick off. These same games are going on in the Western Conference as well, but since the Wizards are in the East, we're paying a little bit more attention to the East, but we will recap what's going on in the West as well and set all your playoff seedings before the playoffs actually get underway for us in our simulation. And it's 5-5 right now with 2:23 to go here in the first quarter. Now, with what we've been doing the whole season is mirroring the actual Washington Wizards schedule. So you will see down in the description below the player build, Jaymont Summerz, that video done way back in October. And you will see the season of games that we played with Jaymont Summerz and the Wizards. We have a 5-5 score here in the first quarter here in Brooklyn versus Toronto, which is a stark difference than what we got yesterday when the Pacers and the Pacers and the Heat played, because the Pacers had an incredible time scoring, and a matter of fact only shot 18% for the game on their way to being destroyed by over 30 points. They got beaten by more points than they scored. So anyhow, we're coming to the end of the first quarter. Toronto has an 8-7 lead, so it looks like we're going to get a better game than we got yesterday. And again, remember, with the play-in format from the NBA, we are working it just like the actual NBA in terms that the loser of this game is done. The winner will be facing off against the Pacers, and that is the winner, and that is the game that we are interested in, because that is the team that we will be playing. So we're going to be playing either Toronto, Indiana, or Brooklyn in the next round. Now you may be asking, Season Long Baller, Jaymont Summerz, who would you want to play in the next round? And right now, Brooklyn has a 12-10 lead. And as it stands right now, probably Indiana, because we swept them 4-0. The Nets game was a very tough game. All of the games we played against the Nets were tough games, even though we won all of them. We had one go into overtime, had to have a game with a clutch shot to even do that. And Toronto stands as the one team that won the season series against us. Yes, we have some that we tied with, but Toronto beat us 2 of the 3 games we played them this season. So maybe Toronto has a good matchup against us, as Brooklyn has kind of seized control of things right now with 2:08 in the second quarter, is 17-10. So maybe we don't want to see the Raptors in the next round. As it stands right now, the Miami Heat, who won the game yesterday, they have locked up the 7th seed, so they will be traveling to take on Philly. And they will be starting that series, of course, later on in the week. So they'll be playing Philadelphia, who is the 2 seed. And right now, it looks like Brooklyn is working their way to trying to move into this 8 seed game with the Indiana Pacers. And it is 17-12. And it does look like we're getting a much better game than we got yesterday, where the Heat jumped all over the Pacers and it never was a game after that. Ben Simmons looks like he is leading the way right now with 7 rebounds and 4 points for the Pacers, and for the Nets. And Kyrie Irving right now is running around with that snowflake. I guess he is cold at the moment. But at the half, it's 17-12 in favor of Brooklyn. Now, if you're new to the channel Season Long Baller, I encourage you to go back and look at some of our videos, because this is not normally what we do. This is something a little bit different, just to see who the Wizards will be playing. And again, those games are The season is down in the description below. Right now, Toronto's closing the gap. It's 19-16, and Siakam has really caused a lot of problems, it looks like, so far for the Nets. He's got 7 points and 2 rebounds at the moment, and I guess as well, along with Durant, is the leading scorer in the game, and it's pretty tight now, 21-20 in favor of Brooklyn. And again, I have to say, this is a big contrast in what we saw yesterday, which was not even close to a game. Brooklyn holding on to a 24-20 lead as we're halfway through the third quarter. Lead is back up to 7, so maybe Brooklyn has gotten control of this thing again as the Raptors call a timeout. Now, when we get into the weekend, we will be back into our normal format. The Wizards will be playing the 8 seed at home, 7-game series, and unlike what we've done all season where we were mirroring the actual Washington Wizards schedule, the actual Washington Wizards didn't make the playoffs. So we will be roughly following the playoff format that the NBA uses as the 1 seed. We'll kind of go along with whatever that format is, but it obviously won't follow the real Wizards. And it looks like Flynn, the backup point guard of the Raptors, looks like he doesn't have his picture on his little coin there. That's the only one I've seen, the only player I've seen that way. And Siakam looks like he's still doing work. He's got 11 points as we're getting near the end of the third quarter. But Toronto is still trailing by 5 here, 29-24. Yeah, I guess they didn't have a picture of Flynn. That doesn't make sense. Why wouldn't they have a picture of Flynn? They've had a picture of him when we played games against them as the Wizards, so I'm not sure why. But anyhow, we're in the fourth quarter now. It is 29-24. Siakam's not in the game. Durant and, let's see, Kyrie is not in the game, but Durant's in the game at the moment. And Brooklyn is back out to a 7-point lead with around now 5:04 to go as Barnes takes a free throw and everybody on the Nets is hot. I don't know how that exactly works, but they have a 5-point lead and everybody's hot. So does that mean Brooklyn is on their way to a win? Well, maybe not. Toronto just scored again. It's 31-28. And again, I guess this is an interesting simulcast way of doing things. And I don't know, you know what would be interesting? If we did this with the Wizards, would we have a little picture of Jaymont Summerz on one of these coins? Or would it be like Matt Flynn, where there was no picture, just a team color, basically? And wow, got a little highlight of a block there. That came out of nowhere. We didn't get that yesterday with the game. And Toronto has tied the game up as Josh Jackson hits a 3-pointer. And now it's 31-31 with just almost half the quarter gone. Hey, we've got a game. Maybe this will turn out to be interesting. And again, remember, the winner faces the Pacers for the right to play us, the Washington Wizards, and that game will be sometime during the weekend, yet to be determined when we will be playing, but we will let you know, obviously, right here on Season Long Baller. And I don't see Siakam. Look like I thought Siakam would come back in the game at this point with half the quarter gone. He's been the leading scorer, 31-31. He was the leading scorer for Toronto. He's not back in the game, and now Toronto has the lead as Barnes scores. Oh, man. This is way more interesting than what we got in the first game yesterday in the play-in. Tie game with under 2 to go. Let's see how this works. Maybe Siakam's going to come in now. Irving and Durant are back in the game for the Nets, so obviously the Nets know this is important. So let's see what we see from the Raptors. Van Vliet and Trent Jr., Jackson, Barnes, McGee, and McGee is still in the game. Siakam is not in the game as Trent Jr. scores the layup, and Toronto is up by 2. Now Durant hits a 3. It's 36-35. Barnes is on the free throw line, hits a pair. They're back in front with under 1:15 to go. Wow, this is actually relatively exciting. Brooklyn with Durant hitting a couple free throws. Siakam is still not in the game. Barnes scores again. They're up by 1 with less than a minute to go. 39-38. Let's see, Barnes has the ball and Barnes scores again. 41-40 in favor of the Raptors. 22.1 seconds to go. You've got to think Kevin Durant's going to get the ball here. He's got 12. Barnes has 10 for the Raptors, but Siakam had 11 in 3 quarters. I don't know why he did not come back in the game. Nick Nurse got some splaining to do. Anyhow, 41-40. Let's see what the Nets do. Kevin Durant just dunks. Kevin Durant goes to the hole and dunks 42-41. Siakam should have been on Durant, right? Okay, whatever. It's a 42-41 lead for the Nets at home. 18.6 to go. Timeout is running out here. Let's see what happens. This is a much better game than we got yesterday. I know I've said that a few times, but yesterday was a slaughter. Barnes has the ball. Looks like he's going to play for the last shot. It's no good. And it is a Nets victory. 42-41. The Nets will win. I don't know. Siakam had 11. He was healthy. I don't know why he didn't play again. All right. Well, if you like what we do on the channel, Season Long Baller, this is a little bit different than what we normally do. But if you like what we're doing, give us that like and subscribe. It is much appreciated. We will see you in 2 days when now the Brooklyn Nets will take on the Indiana Pacers for the right to play Jaymont Summerz, our player build, and the Washington Wizards for the 8th seed against the number 1 seed Washington Wizards. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. That's it for yours truly, Season Long Baller. Peace.